Okay, let's start over. Hey, Jeff here. So I got out this weekend and I just want to show what I grabbed. I went to one of my favorite record stores in the area. I always go in and check the new, gently used section where they put all the stuff that has just come in before they put it elsewhere. And so I was able to grab some things. And it wasn't, now the prices, I'm like, I'm supporting local businesses, so I'll go ahead and pay some of these. I don't always like to look online while I'm in a store, mainly because then I second guess myself and I'm thinking maybe I should wait and buy it online, and you can try to calculate the shipping and all that. For this case, I didn't. The prices weren't outrageous. They have prices that vary, and you don't always necessarily, going to get the greatest deal from something you might get online. I didn't go into these prices were all within the realm of okay, that's acceptable. So I went ahead and just made the purchase, and then I got home, and when I was logging my finds on Discogs, I was happy to find out that I did pay less than what I could have got it, like, say, on Discogs. I didn't go any further than that. Just the prices that I could get it from shipper in the U.S. on Discogs with shipping. Anyway, I picked up the Metallica Garage Days EP. Now, this is the 2014 Blackened Records reissue. It's not an original. But I have, when this came out, I've been watching it new, and I'm like, it says right on the cover it's a $5.98 EP, but you're wanting $20-something for it, or whatever the price was. Anyway, it was in great shape. Corner's just a little bent there, but it was great to have this. Now, a funny story, at least I find it funny. You'll probably say, gosh, Jeff, you were so stupid. Funny story about this album. One of the songs, The Small Hours, I'm pretty sure. When this album came out, I wasn't listening to Metallica. That was in the time frame where I was mainly only listening to Christian music. I was in that part of my life where I was trying to get back into a seriousness about my faith. I wasn't listening to Metallica. Last album by Metallica that I ever owned back in those days was Ride the Lightning. So I did not get this album when it came out. I was not familiar with these songs when it came out. Well, a band I was in, we met a guy. We were looking for a guitar player. He came in and auditioned. He worked with us for a little while. We recorded a song with him, just a live practice. And he came in with the song and kind of had written a song and added the lyrics, and we improvised and added our instrumentation. And he even sang, and played guitar, lead guitar. And it was a killer song. It kind of was bluesy, kind of gritty. We were kind of thrilled. We recorded. We were kicking it around. And we let one of our friends hear it. And they were familiar with Metallica. And they're like, you might want to check the Metallica Garage EP. And it was basically that entire song. It was aside from him changing the lyrics and changing it up a little, and of course us improvising the drums and the bass and the rhythm guitar to the point where it wasn't exactly that, but it was the song. Anyway, we confronted him on it, and he didn't last in the band. But so we were deceived. Funny story, but kind of sad. Again, we weren't familiar with the song, and we didn't know that it wasn't an original. Why did I reveal that? I don't know. I have the recording of that. Still a killer song, if you ignore the fact that it was by another band. Found me some more Van Halen, OU812. I was thrilled about that, and it's in great condition, pristine condition. So yes, I was glad to grab that. And then I'm flipping, and there was two of these, two by this artist that I really wanted to buy, but since I already had those other two, I didn't really want to break the bank. Billy Joel's Cold Spring Harbor. They also had one of his other ones. One of his older albums. I really like them. I have them all on CD when they remaster them. I have them all on CD, including this. Now, I will confess, there's a reason I bought this, aside from the fact that I really dig this album. I remember hearing a story, reading a story about this album years ago. I think about the time I bought that remastered CD when they brought them all out. About how this album, see, I had misunderstood what I remembered. How this album was in the studio when they released it, the pitch, it was off pitch. That's what I'm looking for. And so his voice sounds higher and everything's just a tad fast, but that's how it was. Now, when I thought I was remembering what I remembered when I'm standing in the store holding this, I thought I was remembering the story as when it came out on CD back in the day, originally, the CD was sped up. So the thought was when they came out with the remastered CD, were they going to fix it? And they didn't. And the story was it's just not fixable. And so my remembrance of that, because of course I wasn't buying vinyl back then, but my remembrance of that was the CDs were all messed up. So I thought I'll grab the vinyl because the vinyl would be the original. Well, then I got home and realized no, it's the entire album, the vinyl, everything. It's off pitch, so it's just a little bit higher than it should be. This was his first album, 1971, way before, you know, all the years of stuff that everybody knows by him. This does have the song She's Got Away, you know, She's Got Away, about her, and a lot of other songs I really dig on here. But this was like the first, back in the day, the first album. It was a cutout, and this was a $7 album, and then I go and I find online that I couldn't touch one of these for under like $25. So that was good, a good buy. Now, of course, it probably didn't have a cutout, but I was just thrilled to finally get one for a good price. The cover looks like it's in beat up condition. They put it in a new sleeve, which I'll probably put it into a poly sleeve, but the album itself just looked unplayed. So even though the cover looked at all bang and had some ring wear on the back, I was thrilled. But that was all, so I grabbed those. Now, they did have, get this is just another story. Somebody had dumped at the store a buttload of Duran Duran. Now, I'm a mediocre Duran Duran fan. I love the Rio years and the, you know, maybe just in that time frame. And the one song, I have the Rio deluxe book set that's got all these extra tracks and everything. That's the only, that and the 7 and the next album I have on CD, just a regular one. But the one thing I had back in the day when those albums came out that I really dug was the remixed extended dance mix of the Reflex. Well, this, somebody had dumped a lot of Duran Duran and a lot of singles. They had singles for every song. They had the albums. They had 2 UK pressings of the first album, which I probably should have bought one of those. They had Rio, and they had like Arena and 1 or 2 other albums, but mostly a lot of singles, just a lot of 12-inch singles, and they were like $5. And I'm like, great, probably going to find Reflex in here, and I can buy that. All I need is that. And I looked and I looked and I looked, and of all those singles they had for songs I've never heard of, they didn't have the one I wanted, except they did have it on picture disc. One Duran Duran picture disc in this whole lot of 12-inch singles that they had, and it was the Reflex dance mix, and it was twice as much. It was like $10, and I don't want a $10 picture disc from the 80s. I just want the $5 12-inch. I had it back in the day. I had the single back in the day in the 80s when it came out, and that's all I wanted. Oh well. In the mail today, this came. This is another one of those Amazon things. It was labeled as like new. I don't know what the problem was. It was an Amazon warehouse deal. It was like $12. I get it. It's in shrink wrap, but they probably re-shrink wrapped it because it had a sticker saying thanks for giving it a second life. I don't see anything wrong with it. It looks brand new. I don't know what the issue was. I haven't, whatever. I played it. Sounds great. I picked up No Doubt. Tragic Kingdom is the album that really put them on the map with the Don't Speak. And then you're like, oh, I love that song. And then you go listen to the album, and it turns out they don't sound anything like that. But I really dig them, and I've been a fan of theirs since around this time when I bought the album and thought, wow, this is cool. And, you know, I'm not a huge ska fan, but I dig it. The upbeat, the horns, the backbeat sounds. And even the first album that's a little more punky than this, I have that on my wish list. It's floating around out there for under $20, so I'll probably be picking that one up soon. And I'll get what I can. I had all their CDs back in the day, but then in the days when money was tight and I was in school and not working, I sold a lot of stuff on eBay. eBay was like fairly new, you know, it was only a handful of years old, and I was selling all kinds of stuff. And I had all the singles with the bonus tracks, and I sold all that stuff. So I don't really own anything other than digital tracks now. So I was glad to get this. Sounds great. This is a reissue in 2014. Yeah, I was just glad to get this for under 15. It was, like I say, 12 or so, and it was brand new practically. So keeping an eye out. I am, like I say, I'm a mild No Doubt fan. maybe because I think she's cute. I don't know. You know, Gwen Stefani. And actually, I've listened to her stuff. My wife always says that. You just like her because she's a cute girl. I think, I don't know. It's fun. It's fun stuff. But I have been a fan and listened to them for years, and I thought it'd be great to get some of that on vinyl. I also got some CDs in the past couple days. I already had this on vinyl, but I went ahead and picked up the new Striper on CD. And I know I did it for petty reasons. Aside from the fact that I have been collecting everything on CD, I didn't buy the last album on CD. I just bought it on vinyl. Now it's hard to find on CD. It's like 20 bucks or more for the last album. So I thought I'd go ahead and get this. But the silly reason I really got this is because I saw another copy of it and I realized there's a photo in here that's not in the vinyl. And I'm like, what? CD owners can't get more than the vinyl people. So I grabbed that. But really because I saw that there was a photo and I didn't have. This is something that came out... this is like a little out of my league usually, but I thought it would be really cool. It's a Christian thrash / death metal band called Possession. Now I totally missed out on this band in the 90s because again it wasn't really my style of music. This is Disentombed Manifestations, and what it is it's from a label in Spain, Extreme Music, and it is a compilation of all of they had mainly cassettes out back in the day, and it's all of their music plus some that you've never heard before. So it's a double disc set. So I love it. It's like an anthology of everything that the band's done. So what, I missed out on them back in the day, and I listened to a couple tracks online, and I thought, well, that's not horrible, because back in the 90s it was a little more thrashy at times than it was as extreme of a death metal sound. So yes, I went ahead and grabbed one of these before I couldn't. And it has their 95 album, it has a 97 demo, it has a couple bonus tracks from 98. It's got some of the second disc has their tapes. 93, 92, and 93 different various tapes that they did back in the day. So yes, that was great. Just a great pickup. Grabbed that from Rox Records along with this. This is a band that they got their hands on a couple copies. And, I like checking out these bands that are self-released for the most part. You never know what you expect, but you end up getting what you kind of expect. First thing about this band, Prodigal. Okay, how about if we come up with an original name? There's already a band called Prodigal in the Christian realm. There's probably numerous bands called Prodigal. It's an Arizona band, so I don't know. Have we run out of names to where bands have to start duplicating names? It's frustrating. I don't know why they did that. A lot of bands that are like these new one-off bands, and sometimes they're okay, sometimes they're mediocre, sometimes they're kind of musically challenged. I mean, they're just. I've had some that really stink, and I've found some that were pretty good. Musically, these guys are really good. At times really hard rocking, at times bluesier. I do find that quite often I was finding myself a little irritated with the second guitar player who just wouldn't stop playing. It was almost like you're way too busy. You're way too busy, dude. Too many leads throughout singing and stuff. There were some spots like that. I mean, he played good, but it's like you're overplaying. So overall, there's quite a few songs. Overall, was it like 12 songs? Overall, it was a great album. They sound great when they're heavy, and they sounded good. Lyrically, they're very, very, very bold, very, very, very preachy. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It's almost kind of sounds like the kind of stuff that bands from the 80s did. All the bands in the 80s were really, really, really Jesus in your face, and to the point where it almost comes across as cheesy. And so it sounds dated. It sounds dated with those types of lyrics. Most Christian bands these days are a little more mature in the way they present it. So I don't know. I found it at times reminiscent, and maybe that's your thing. Maybe that's not a bad thing. It came with a sticker and stuff. But to me, I just thought the lyrics, the songwriting style reminded me a lot of the days when people were truly, really trying to be over the top bold. And anyway, so it kind of felt like that. That is it, though. Just wanted to share that. That was my weekend haul. And yeah, great stuff. I was excited. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I will talk at you later. Rock on.